Sunday.
I like folk that been knocked down and shamed and disgraced, and somehow God picked them up and cleaned them off and brought them back. Say it, preacher.
Reverend Al actually started preaching when he was just 4.
Who are you and who am I before God?
He was raised in a middle-class section of Brooklyn. When he was 10, his life was turned upside down when his father abandoned the family.
He had a child with my half-sister.
Whoa. He had a child with your half-sister.
Right, with my mother's child.
Yeah.
When his father left, he and his mother were forced onto welfare.
We became a laughingstock. Every kid on the block used to point at us laughing. Their lights out. His father's gone. They repossessed the Cadillac. It was a haunting experience, and it made me have a lifelong search for fathers.
And for attention, he said. He made his mark as a civil rights leader in New York in the 1980s by leading angry marches. They led to change, but this one nearly caused a race riot.
People have said that you were a hate monger, a racial ambulance chaser, a shakedown artist, a race baiter. Did you go too far?
No.
You don't regret any of the things you said back then?
If you want to say that I use language sometime that I shouldn't, yes. If you want to say that I had more vanity than I should have, yes. But don't say that I was a hater and violent, because I was never that.
When Sharpton was in his 20s and 30s, there were allegations of mob ties, never proved, and charges he used his civil rights organization to shake down businesses for contributions, which he denies.
I think he has been a hustler all of his career.
Wayne Barrett, an investigative reporter with the Daily Beast, has written about Sharpton for more than 20 years.
I think he is in the civil rights business. I don't think he's a civil rights leader. I think he's in the business. He has an organization called the National Action Network. Nobody knows what happens to all that money.
An IRS audit would later show that he and his organization failed to pay $2.8 million in federal and state taxes. And then there was the issue he's most known for.
My name is Tawana Brawley.
All right.
I'm not a liar and I'm not crazy.
It was 1987. Tawana Brawley was a 15-year-old who claimed she was raped by 6 white men in law enforcement. And Al Sharpton took up her cause. But there was no forensic evidence of any sexual attack, and there was evidence Tawana made up the whole story. The case, labeled a hoax, was dismissed, and Sharpton was forced to pay $65,000 to those he had named. But in all this time, he has never voiced any regret.
You have gone back and looked at things with such a clear eye. You've apologized, you've asked for forgiveness, except on Tawana Brawley. I don't get it.
I'll be honest with you. I have thought about that a million times. I just don't believe they treated that case fair.
If I knew that I had in any way contributed to falsely accusing someone, I think I would feel an obligation to say I'm sorry.
I think you're right. I think the operative word is if you knew that. I don't know that.
If they didn't do
But
it...
but suppose they
you're
did.
taking the...
Suppose they did.
But they didn't. They didn't. You still think they might have done it, is what you're saying.
I still say that there is area there that makes me believe something happened.
He's not going to apologize because to him, this is playing to that core constituency, however small it is of his, that white America wants him to apologize, and he is not going to apologize. If you had a Brawley, federal tax liens, you put all of these things together, would anybody else be able to transcend that and be this larger-than-life figure?
He has.
Only because we let him.
Keeping it real. I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. And
the new Al Sharpton has a nationally syndicated radio talk show. On the air 3 hours every weekday, he reaches a large, mainly black audience.
It gives me advantage over most civil rights leaders. I talk to people every day. I know where people are.
He still gets questions about how he makes his money. Well, he earns over $1 million a year at his radio show, plus paid speeches, and he's paid off the $2.8 million he owes in back taxes. But he says his big personal transformation moment came the day he picked up the phone and spoke to his father for the first time in 45 years.
Why did you call him?
I had a chip on my shoulder, I guess. Why did he leave me behind? And, you know, I went through school and graduations all wasn't there, and I resented it. But I didn't realize how much I resented it until I reached out and realized that all of that I was carrying in me.
He told us that he used to think about getting in the newspapers. Now, older, more comfortable with himself, he's thinking about history.
And history's not made by guys that can just make the headline the next day. History's made by people that can help make change happen.
And stay in the game.
And change the game, not just stay in the game, change the game. I've been everything good and that my friends say, and mostly everything bad my enemies say. But right now, I think I'm on the right time to help make a difference.